नाम गुम जाएगा, चेहरा ये बदल जाएगा, मेरी आवाज ही पहचान है. For those who don't speak the language of Hindi, let me translate this into English. My name will be forgotten, my face will be forgotten. The only constant that will remain forever will be my voice. And that is so apt for anyone and everyone for their communication skills, because as much as your looks matter, your voice matters too when it comes down to your personality. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aditya Mathur. I'm a professional voice actor, a compere, a host, an MC, and sometimes I act. So today the reason I'm here and the reason why I'm making this video is because over the past 16 years that I've been voicing and hosting, I've had the pleasure of meeting very interesting people from varied walks of life, varied industries, and the only question most of them have asked me always is, Aditya, how can I make my voice sound better when I'm speaking? Or, let me put it easier, how do I enhance my communication skills? So this video is basically about that. Hopefully with this video, I should be able to, guide you and point out a few things that will, help enhance or hone your communication skills. So hopefully that, works for you. I'm going to give you a quick intro and brief about who I am and what I do. I've been voicing, as I mentioned earlier, in the media for the past 16 plus years. You've heard me on varied television channels like MTV, VH1, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, CNBC TV 18, CNN IBN, Sahara Television, ZTV, Z Cinema, Z Cafe, Z Studio, etc. Just to name a few. I've voiced a lot of radio commercials for multiple brands, both Indian and multinational. Similarly, I've voiced for a lot of television commercials and I've done a lot of corporate films too. My website is adityamathur.com, where you can go and check out my work, and of course on social media too. I've hosted lots of events, be it corporate, media, press releases. Some of the brands I've hosted for are Vogue, Femina Miss India, CIO Choice by Core Media, NTT, Bajaj, of course, the Global Citizen Festival, some of the brands that I've worked with in the past. So that's about me. I'm coming down to the point now. So the questions that have been asked very commonly, I've noted them down on my laptop. Sorry about the fumble. Put them down on my laptop, and I'm just going to go ahead and, speak about these questions and then elaborate a little bit on these questions. So one of the basic questions I've been asked is, how can I, utilize my voice effectively? And, what are the key rules, or what is it that you recommend for the best communication skills, and what are the do's and don'ts? So I'm just going to talk about that. Well, let me put it very simply. The four most important aspects of your voice are your tone, your pitch, your speed, and your diction. So tone, pitch, speed, and diction are what pretty much define your voice, right? Your voice is your identity, ladies and gentlemen. You could be a professional voice actor, you could be a singer, you could be an executive, you could be a CEO in a multinational organization, you could be a student, you could be a housewife, you could be anyone and everyone. Your voice matters. That is your identity, right? So what is the idea behind utilizing the right pitch and the right tone, right? So one, it is about wanting to capture the attention of your audience. Now, this could be a one-on-one conversation. This could be a board meeting that you are basically holding or are part of, or this could be an audience that you're presenting to. And especially now, given the pandemic situation, everybody's at home and everybody is, online on social media platforms as well as, streaming platforms. So the idea is basically that. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about some of the things that I have experienced and I have learned from, and the best way to utilize your voice to the optimum level. So I think it's very important that your voice is heard clearly. Very, very important. So make sure for this you speak at a medium pace. Don't go speaking too fast or go speaking too slow. I'll tell you why. When you speak at a medium pace, your voice is heard clearly. Everybody is able to understand what you're saying, and your voice generally sounds clear. If you start speaking too fast, people will mostly miss out on certain important key aspects you would like to talk about, or while you're talking you would like to enhance. People will miss out on that, and that pretty much loses the whole essence of the conversation. At the same time, if you go too slow, you will come across as sounding boring, or very often you end up sounding uninterested. Now, that's something you don't want, right? The other thing that I would talk about is that when you're in a boardroom meeting, or you are presenting to an audience, or you're having a one-on-one conversation with someone, or you're streaming like we all are right now, make sure you look at your audience, or the person you're communicating, or the group of people you're communicating with, because eye contact matters a lot, especially when you're actually talking. You not only sound confident, but also end up grabbing the attention of the audience. So that does matter. So make sure that you're looking at the audience and talking straight at them. And the other important thing that I would like to talk about is I've seen people, especially over the past few months on streaming platforms and social media platforms, while talking, you don't really go ahead and realize that you are not projecting your voice aptly enough so that the person or the audience you are actually interacting with can actually hear you clearly. In this case right now, in this video, as you can see, I'm utilizing a microphone. So I'm not projecting my voice too much. I'm keeping it at a certain level so that everyone can hear me clearly. But even if I wasn't using a microphone, I would ensure that my voice is clearly being heard. So projection basically is about throwing your voice appropriately so that people can actually hear you. So ensure you do that, If you feel that you're not sure if people can hear you or not, ask them. Simple as that, right? Okay. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is that your pitch, right? Your pitch pretty much is about your high notes, your mid notes, and your low notes. That's pretty much what pitch is all about. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly elaborate on that. High notes are basically notes that you basically hit on a high note when you're actually speaking really, 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 really high and you're asking a certain question. So that's basically a high note. And a low note is when you just go really low on enunciating or, going ahead and pronouncing a certain word or ending a statement. And a mid-tone is the tone I'm utilizing right now while talking to you. So it's important that when you are asking questions, you usually should go ahead and end your question on a high note. That creates a sense of alertness and awareness to your audience or the person you're asking the question to. Similarly, when you're actually making a statement, make sure that you end your statement on a low note. That goes ahead and conveys that you are confident in your speech, in your statement, and you have a sense of authority about what you're saying. So make sure you do that. Okay, the next point that I'm going to talk about is having the steadiness and confidence in your voice. So your voice should be steady and confident. So increase the tempo or pace if you feel that, you want to convey action or excitement, and come back to a confident medium tone, medium pace when you feel that you are making a strong statement where every word matters. Similarly, very important, please pause only when it's appropriate. It's awkward when you pause at moments when it's not required. And, pauses taken at the right time indicate an important point or an important phrase that you're about to communicate. So only take pauses at the right time and they will make the right impact. So make sure you do that. Also, remember that your emotions are delivered through your voice. That's right. Your emotions and your voice go hand in hand. So your emotions should always match what you're saying and what your audience wants to feel, or rather what you want your audience to feel. So make sure that your expressions, your hands, your gestures, your speech match. So that's something that you should do for sure. Another question that I'm going to go up and look at quickly is, how can I make a difference at work with my voice? Now, this is a question I've been asked very often by a lot of people, and I'll tell you why I've been asked this question. In the past 16 years that I've been hosting and voicing and, as I mentioned earlier, I've met a lot of people in my life. And the most common statement I've heard from people, whether they are executives or CEOs or, MDs, is that they feel intimidated, they don't feel appreciated, they don't feel, valued, they don't feel that they're being heard. They feel that they will look or sound stupid, and very often they feel that they're not respected. Now, let me tell you that your voice does play a major role at work. It definitely does. It's something that's important in excelling at work, at being heard, at feeling, respected, being more engaging, and at the same time being valued. That's the most important part. Everybody wants to feel valued at work, right? Especially when you're presenting, a project in a boardroom or representing a large audience, representing your brand to a large audience, my bad. A sense of calm and confidence always goes to show that you're somebody who knows what you're talking about, and that's very important. Another important thing that I would like to mention once again, ladies and gentlemen, is that, if you are talking to someone and you think you've forgotten something, or you're not sure if what you are about to say is the right thing to say, or if you feel that you would like to reiterate, please take a pause. Taking a pause will be appreciated by your audience in general, the people you're speaking with. Take a pause, think about what you want to talk about, and then continue or begin again. And it's absolutely okay to do that rather than stammering or fumbling. When you fumble, when you stammer, when you speak too fast, and you end up saying something you don't want to, that won't really be appreciated, right? So make sure that you take your pauses, breathe, relax, stay calm, be confident, and speak. And that will work wonders for you at work too. Trust me on that. I'm going to give you an example, right? So I was hosting a conference a few years ago for a multinational corporate brand, and one of the speakers who was about to go on stage was also a CEO of another organization, a rather large multinational organization. I met this guy backstage, rather dapper, savvy, looks very confident, great presentation deck, goes up on stage, starts presenting, starts speaking really, really fast, right? And what happened because of that is at one side, you have this great presentation, and then you have this guy who's speaking really fast. What happened is that the presentation was great, but because this guy lacked good oratory skills, the presentation did not, get through to the audience, and the audience was lost somewhere, and he had some great points to make, but those points were not registered by the audience. And that's not such a good thing, right? So this is important. Another question that I get asked very often, Aditya, do you do anything in your voice? Do you do any vocal exercises? Is there something I can do to, enhance my vocal quality in general? Okay, I'm going to talk about basic things. The first thing I would recommend is please stretch your body as much as you can. Stretching your body will enhance your vocal skills, and I'll tell you how. When you stretch your body, right, you are also stretching your rib cage. When you stretch your rib cage, you're actually going to go ahead and expand your lungs, and your air capacity will basically increase, and that in turn will end up enhancing your vocal quality, and that does work for sure. The other thing I would recommend is humming. Hum as much as you can. The more you hum, the better it is. And the reason for that is that when you hum, you are able to not just relax your vocal cords, but you're also able to warm up your vocal cords. So if you have an important audition coming up, you're going for an interview, if you're interviewing somebody, you have a presentation coming up, you have anything that's important when it comes down to talking, or if you're, generally just want to, exercise your vocal cords, just hum. It's the best thing you can do. The other thing I would recommend that you should do for sure is you should stretch your jaw, yawn. By doing all of that, you will be able to relax your throat muscles as well as your vocal cords. That helps too. The next point that I would make that I would recommend you should do is you should practice tongue twisters. Now, this is a personal favorite. I do this a lot. I'm going to give you an example of what I usually do. I would say something like, how much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Right? Try it. When you do that, this will help you to articulate and enunciate your words better. Try it out. It's fun. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the video. But before I go, a few pointers. Breathe. Breathing is the basis of a good voice. So breathe before you start speaking. Take a few breaths. That will basically make you remain calm, confident, and that in turn will give you good communication skills, right? And warm up. Very important. You are unique. All of us have a great voice. We are all unique. And I wish you all the best in your career and in your life. And stay safe. Take care. All the best. God bless.